Hi, I'm Jon Liebman. Welcome to Beyond the Interview, where we take a look at some of the interviews I've conducted on ForBassPlayersOnly.com. Then we hop over to JonLiebman.com to see what we can learn from those interviews to help make you a better bass player. This week's interview is with Kern Brantley, longtime bass player with Beyonce, Lady Gaga, a whole bunch of others, currently on tour with David Foster. And in the interview, Kern was describing the audition process for his current gig. And he told me they sent him the music ahead of time. So he had a chance to read it, learn it, study it, practice it, get to know it inside and out before walking into the audition, knowing exactly what he was going to be asked to play. And I just have a hunch that everyone else who auditioned was given the same advantage. So how do you stand out in a situation like that, when everybody's got the music ahead of time? And it reminded me of something I heard Nate Watts tell an audience of bass players, as a matter of fact. Nate Watts, of course, is the longtime bass player for Stevie Wonder. And he said, when they put the music in front of you, play what's written, and then sign it. Put a little bit of yourself into it, your own personality. And that took me back to when I was 18 years old. I was in the recording studio. It was only the first or second record I had ever done. And we're playing a song and we're coming up to a section, and I had always, up until that point, played it like this. While we're recording, I don't know what possessed me to do this. To this day, I have no idea. But we got to that part, and I went like this. I just felt it, and I just played it. And it worked. We're all in the control room afterwards listening to the playback, and it fit the song. It really added a lot. And the producer looked at me and said, "Jon, I really like what you did there." I said, "Ooh, thank you." Getting back to the aforementioned Nate Watts. Imagine him in the recording studio with Stevie Wonder, and they're recording Sir Duke. So the line goes, well, that's how he played it the first few times. Then the song is building and they're getting toward the end. Things are moving up. Everybody's getting excited. Nate, I think, was getting excited too, because when it came to time to play that line again, he played it like this. He signed it. Did it work? You bet it did. It's one of my favorite bass lines. Carol Kaye, legendary bass player from the Wrecking Crew, played on jillions of records and film soundtracks and TV shows. She's in the studio with Sonny and Cher, getting ready to record The Beat Goes On. So according to Carol, the line she was given was something like, well, Carol thought there was something missing. It just needed something else. It just needed something, period. So she fooled around with it and eventually came up with which everybody liked better. Those are just a few examples of how you can take the music that's presented to you, play it the way it's supposed to be played, but add a little something of yourself, sign it, so you put some of your own personality into it. You have to be careful, though. You don't want to go too far. You don't want to play anything that's not appropriate. You want to play whatever the song needs, whatever will serve the song, whatever will help the song. So something to think about. Back to Kern, I want to mention that Kern Brantley is just a great all-around bass player. He's got the thumb-slapping thing down. He's got the fingerstyle, funk, R&B thing, the rock thing, the pop thing. If you haven't checked out the interview, if you're watching this on JonLiebman.com, there's a link underneath. You can click on that. Check out the interview with Kern, as well as any or all of literally hundreds and hundreds of bass player interviews I conducted one-on-one with some of the greatest bass players in the world. And on JonLiebman.com, I've got all kinds of free lessons covering lots of different styles, techniques, genres that you can check out. And if you're already a member of JonLiebman.com, you might want to revisit the sight reading category, maybe the slapping category, funk R&B category, maybe even the rock and metal category might be appropriate for what we're talking about here. Either way, subscribe to our YouTube channels, sign up for our email lists for BassPlayersOnly.com, JonLiebman.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Jon Liebman. This is Beyond the Interview.